In this video, I'm going to be talking about the things that you need when coming to the country of Thailand. Whether you're coming here on vacation or whether you're coming here permanently, I'm going to give you a list of things that you need. Now, of course, you're going to need things like a passport, visa, all of that stuff. And it depends whether you're coming here permanently or just to visit. But there are two categories that everything falls into. The first category is the mindset, and that I think is the most important. And the second category is the applications and all the other technical things that you might need coming here to the country of Thailand. And I thought, what better place to bring you all this information than from the first park I went to when I arrived here in Bangkok, Thailand, Lumpini Park. So let's talk about the first thing in the mindset aspect of coming to Thailand, of the things that you need. So the number one thing I'd say would be patience. And not just patience, but patience times 3. You see, here things are in a much slower pace if you're coming from a Western country. It's a much slower pace of life. Personally, I love it. But if you're ready, things being done for you at a snap, you're going to have to readjust a little bit because here, like I said, people slow down. It's not as fast paced. Sure, you can get things, but you just have to be able to be open-minded and just be willing to go with the flow. Don't bring that ugly Western mentality of how they do it back in your country. You're not back in your country. You're now in Thailand. Another part of the mindset that's really important if you're coming here to Thailand is self-control. There are many different aspects of self-control. Whether you're coming here to be a remote worker and you need to be able to dedicate time to work and not go out and party or drink or whatever it is you decide to do. See, there's many temptations here, and by Western standards, a lot of things here are much less expensive. So you can get in trouble even if you don't go out and party and drink. You could be a shopaholic and you could just go out and start buying things because you can find things here for a lot less than in most of your countries. But self-control is important. It is very important in every aspect of life because if we don't have control of ourselves, we obviously are not going to be able to have productive and safe lives. So that might be difficult for some people. So make sure that you understand yourself, which is really important, and that you will need to have some self-control when you come here to the country of Thailand. One of the things that I found to be most important here in the country of Thailand is that you have to be flexible. And what I mean by this is there's been so many times that I've gone to an attraction or to a location and things were closed or not as they were described. And you just have to be flexible. If it doesn't work out, you have to have plan B and just be ready to pivot. I've gone to restaurants, they weren't there. I've gone to abandoned buildings and they're no longer abandoned. So just have a plan B or just be willing to accept the fact that things might be different and that you're going to have to make up new ideas as you go. You might show up somewhere, it might not go as planned, but that is part of the journey and of international discovery and travel. And especially if you're coming to a new country, you're going to have to be flexible because things are going to be very different. Keeping that open mindset again is very important. So make sure that you're open-minded, you're okay with things not working out the way they should sometimes, and just be able to go with the flow. It's definitely a female. She's looking for a place to lay eggs somewhere over here. Another thing that you really should keep in mind if you come here to the country of Thailand is be prepared to walk. I average about 4 or 5 miles every single day here. So you have to be prepared to walk if you really want to explore the more interesting places, not where all the tourists go. You have to be able to get out into the smaller parts of the city and just be able to walk around and explore things. I find that walking is one of the best ways to explore this city or actually any country that you go to. And along with walking here in Thailand, you're definitely going to want water. Lots and lots of water. Trust me on this. You're going to need to drink a lot more than you think. Most of us don't, but do yourself a favor and drink plenty of water. Your body and your mind will really thank you for it because it is quite hot and humid here. If you're not used to it, you're going to need all the liquid you can get. Guys, keep in mind that this list is not exhaustive, and these are just my opinions of what I think you need here in the country of Thailand. If you have other suggestions, please do drop them in the comments below. And at this point, if you can give this video a thumbs up, a like, or share it with a friend, I would really appreciate it. It would help with the channel. Okay, now let's move on to the next topic, and that would be budget. You need to have a budget when coming here. And that doesn't matter whether you're going to have a budget of $1,500 a month or $10,000 a month, but you need to set yourself a budget because it is just way too easy to go out and spend too much money. And everybody's budget is different. I get people asking me all the time, Serg, how much money do I need in Thailand? I can't answer that for you because I don't know what kind of lifestyle you have. You could get by here on $1,000 a month, and maybe you can't get by here on $10,000 a month. It really all depends. Just to give you an idea for myself, I live in a luxury high-rise building, and including rent, food, transportation, all my expenses for the month, that includes cell phone, health insurance, everything, I rarely spend more than $1,800 US. And I'm living relatively well. You can definitely live for a lot less than that, or you could spend more. It's really up to you. But you have to have a budget. Get a piece of paper, write down your expenses, do the research, and make sure that you can afford to stay here, whether it's for 2 weeks or for 2 years. This next part I really kind of can't stress enough, is you're going to need to have a social network here, like you would anywhere in the world. And whether that's people that you know here as friends, or maybe a boyfriend, girlfriend, but you're going to need to make some friends here. So start getting out as soon as you can and start introducing yourself to people. And don't just do it with expats. Make friends with locals. That is the best way to integrate into any kind of society. Or even if you're just visiting, you make friends with the locals. They'll be so helpful. The people here are definitely the friendliest I have seen anywhere in the world. I'm not exaggerating, guys. I've been to 20 different countries, and to me, Thailand is the best place as far as the people and the culture, and that's the reason I'm here. But you are definitely going to need to make some friends and go out and just put yourself out there. Otherwise, you could be quite lonely. I mean, for instance, Bangkok here, it's a city of 10 million people, but you could still be lonely. It's quite easy. So make sure that you're willing to go out and meet some people. You can use Meetup, you can use all sorts of event finders, or you can just go to places where people are and you can just start talking to people. I've had people just approach me on the street, not because of my YouTube channel, but just randomly started talking to me, and they weren't even trying to sell me something. It's not quite common, but it has happened. I really want to hit on one thing that I mentioned earlier, and that is the Western mindset. You know, if you're going to come to a country like this and you're going to stay in a place like the Marriott, or it doesn't matter, any hotel, and you're going to eat just Western food and not go outside your comfort zone, I don't think there's really any point coming here. You could do that at home or any country. Part of the excitement of coming to a place like this is to try new things, to get out of your comfort zone and to explore new foods. It might be a little too spicy for you. You might not be to your liking, but go out and try things you normally wouldn't. We only get one chance around this planet, and make that opportunity count. Go out and try and do things. Most people get to the end of their life regretting the things they didn't do, not the things they did. So go out, take some calculated risk, take some chances, and enjoy your life. No relay races allowed here in Lumpini Park. Another part that comes with the mindset coming here to Thailand is you should learn some of the language. Learn at least some of the basic phrases. This isn't a video that's going to teach you how to say things in Thai, but you need to learn at least some of the basic phrases, understand some of the basic words to be able to get around. Sure, people speak English here, but if you can learn a few words, the Thai people really appreciate it, and they'll be much more helpful if you try to learn some of their language. And before we move on to this next list of things you're going to need in Thailand, there's one very important thing I have to remind you. You need to have awareness. Awareness here in the streets, because you as a pedestrian absolutely do not have the right of way. So anytime you are walking and you see any vehicles, they have the right of way, not you. So keep that in mind. Well, I think that wraps up my list of the mindset things that you need here in Thailand. Now let's move on to the actual physical things that will help you here. And one of the first things is going to be transportation. And here we are at the MRT. And the MRT is basically the underground and partial above ground transportation system here in Thailand. Along with the BTS, the MRT is one of the best ways to get around here. It's quick, it's cheap, it's air conditioned, and it's very comfortable. You can buy tickets at the machine for each of your travels, or here's what I recommend. Get yourself a card. Get yourself an MRT card. That way you can just pay as you go, and you don't have to worry about buying a ticket each direction. And since we're already on the subject of transportation here in Thailand, let's continue. And now we're approaching the BTS. And here at the BTS, you can either use the ticket machine, or again, you can buy one of the cards like I showed you earlier, so you don't have to keep buying tickets. Just remember that you're gonna need to bring your passport or some kind of ID if you wanna buy one of these cards, but it's so much easier than having to carry around change to buy tickets every single time. So get yourself one of these rabbit cards, and the beauty is not only will you be able to use it for the BTS, but you can also use it at a lot of different stores to pay for things. So it's definitely like a debit card. And honestly, I can't rave about the BTS enough. I use it all the time. I can't even imagine getting around Bangkok without BTS. Now, it's obviously just here in Bangkok and not in the other cities. But if you're gonna be in Bangkok, absolutely, get yourself one of the rabbit cards, because you can use it on BTS, you can use it in a lot of the stores. It's so useful. So just finished a quick lunch here at MBK, and let's continue this video about the things you will need here in Thailand. And of course, it's starting to rain. That's another thing you have to be aware of. The weather here, It might rain, it might storm, it might be warm, you just never know. Now, aside from the MRT and the BTS, there's also the public bus system here, and it's quite proliferate. It goes through a lot of the city here in Bangkok and also other parts of Thailand. And one of the best apps that I found is ViaBus. This app will show you all the bus routes, it'll show you the times when they're arriving, where they are, and it will show you which buses have air conditioning and which do not. Because you see, on every route here in Thailand, pretty much there is a bus that has air conditioning and a bus that does not. And obviously the one that does not have air conditioning is much cheaper. So it just depends what you're looking for. Now this is a bonus need here in Thailand, but I think it's highly essential. No, not the tuk-tuk, the 7-Eleven. And if you watch any of my videos, you know that I go to 7-Eleven all the time and get all the best things here, water, snacks, whatever. Even got a t-shirt, 7-Eleven, you ready to sponsor me? Cup and cup. And of course, my favorite water comes from 7-Eleven. So definitely, 7-Eleven is definitely a necessity here in Thailand and one of the things that you will need. Let's move on to the subject of public transportation. Taxis here are plentiful, and the best way to get them is typically to use one of two apps. The first is Bolt, and this app here, Bolt, it's great. It has all sorts of availability of different cars, and it's typically cash-based. Personally, I prefer a different app, and that would be this app, Grab. The wonderful thing about Grab is that you can not just call taxis, limos, motorbike taxis on it, but you can also go and get food ordered, delivered to you, food from 7-Eleven, or have different things delivered from you to another person as a courier service. You can of course hail a taxi by yourself without using an app, but sometimes you might have some difficulty explaining to them where you want to go, or some of them might not want to use the meter. As things are picking up and more people are coming back here to Thailand, some of the taxi drivers are giving flat rates, even here in Bangkok, and kind of refusing to use the meter. So that's why I typically tend to like to use the apps, because then I know exactly how much it's going to cost me before the taxi shows up, and they know exactly where I'm going. Another extremely important app here is the Line app. And the Line app right here is what almost everyone uses for communication here in Southeast Asia. Almost nobody uses text, everyone uses Line. All the businesses use Line, and basically it's a messenger app, and you really should download it because everybody's going to want to use Line to communicate with you. They're not going to do it over text. Whether you're coming here on vacation or you're moving here permanently, an often overlooked thing is medical insurance. I highly recommend you get medical insurance just in case. Personally, I use Safety Wing. I'll put the link down in the description below, and it's the company that I've used ever since I come here, and that's who I would recommend. But there are many different insurance companies that will cover you while you're here in Thailand, whether you're here for vacation or you're moving here permanently. I decided to step out of the heat into Terminal 21 and to grab an ice cream. But one other thing I want to talk to you about is VPNs. VPN is virtual private network. And basically it allows you to access sites here in Thailand that you might otherwise not be able to. For instance, some of your banking accounts, etc., might not be able to be accessed here because your phone will know, or your computer, that you're no longer in the US. So you will absolutely need some kind of a VPN to download. And the one that I use and that I recommend is NordVPN. I'm going to put a link down in the description below. You'll get a longer term and a discount if you use my link. So take a look if you're looking for a VPN. Again, NordVPN down in the description. Highly recommend it because it also protects all of your information while you're traveling. And now for a little guilty pleasure, which is a Dairy Queen ice cream. Swadee cup, onion noon cup, rabbit card cup. And guys, this is what I was mentioning. Like here, the ice cream's 25 baht, and instead of paying with cash, they have a rabbit terminal, so you can use your card to pay. So these come in very handy. Ice cream acquired. Well, that ice cream was absolutely delicious. Now, let's talk about one other thing that you will need while here in Thailand, and that is most likely going to be accommodation. And if you're going to stay here for a short term, then I would highly recommend Agoda for hotels, for long stays, short stays, anywhere in Thailand. It's one of the best apps here for not just hotels, but also for air travel and for a few other travel-related things. I'll put the link down below again for Agoda. I highly recommend it. If you're staying here for a longer term, then Airbnb might be the way to go for you. You can book an Airbnb for 1 month or more because weekly or daily rentals through Airbnb are actually illegal in Thailand. So I would look at those things, but I'll put the link to Agoda. Here's a screenshot of the program, and I'll put the link down below so you can check both of those out for your hotel stays here in Thailand. And no, Soy Cowboy is not an important place for you here in Thailand. Maybe it is, but the reason I brought you here is because we're going to talk about dating apps. So if you're here in Thailand and you're looking to date, there are several dating apps. Of course, you've got Tinder, you've got Bumble, you also have Thai Friendly. So there's many options for you if you're looking for dating. So you will need those apps. They're the same as in most every other country, so you can download if you want to meet people. Also, another great way of meeting people is just by going out, going to bars, going to places, even maybe Soy Cowboy if that's what you're into. And of course, everyone's list of things that you will need here in Thailand is going to be a little bit different. I'm giving you just some of the basics, and these are the things that I think you will really need. If you want more information or my impressions, take a look at this video here. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. Bye.